Hi, this is Tony Meyer, and this is my final project for the course Curbing Disruptive Behavior. I've entitled my presentation A Call for Consistency. So you may be asking yourself, just consistency in what? So this presentation is going to focus on three specific things. The first of which will be classroom expectations, then we'll move on to classroom procedures, and finally we will round out with student and teacher accountability. Our first point of emphasis today is going to be on classroom expectations. Your expectations need to be real, not overreaching. We all have high hopes, but having an expectation such as everyone will earn 100% on all assignments, well, this is just not feasible. But if your expectation is that everyone will turn in assignments on time, this is both tangible and measurable. Your expectations also need to be positive. Try and use do statements, such as show respect to one another. You're telling students what they should be doing. Try to stay away from don't statements, such as don't be rude. This simply implies that they are already rude, and that's definitely a mindset that we don't want our students to accept. Finally, your expectations need to be understandable. Let's revisit our show respect to one another expectation. An easy way to make this understandable is to model appropriate behaviors, but also give instances that are opposite of the expectation. It could be something as simple as asking a question, such as, if I knock your textbook on the floor, am I being respectful? Your students will hopefully state that you are obviously not being respectful to the other student, and some may even point out that you are disrespecting school property. Again, if your expectations are real, positive, and understandable, students will realize that they can successfully meet your expectations on a daily basis. We will now move on to classroom procedures. Your procedures need to be early and often. According to Emmer, Evertston, and Anderson, many classroom studies have shown that the level of order created during the first few days of school reliably predicts the degree of student engagement and disruption for the rest of the year. Therefore, your classroom procedures need to be established from day one. This is your opportunity to state each procedure, answer any questions that may arise, and also address consequences for not following said procedures. Not only should your procedures be ingrained from the beginning, they should be revisited throughout the year. We review content material, why not review the rules of the classroom? It's also a good idea to post your classroom procedures in your room. I personally have mine posted near my smartboard and my clock, two places I know students look to very often. Your procedures also need to be concrete. In order for them to quell unwanted behaviors, there cannot be a gray area. Keep your procedures concise. If you go into a paragraph about when assignments are due, you are opening yourself up to various forms of interpretation. For instance, if your procedure states homework is due at the beginning of class on the due date, that's pretty straightforward. This should hopefully eliminate the I thought we got class time to work on it argument. This leads us into our final topic under procedures, adherence. This is definitely where this category falls under the premise of consistency. If students need to learn our classroom procedures, it is paramount that we as teachers adhere to our own rules. If you have a procedure such as students must use a hall pass in order to use the restroom or get a drink, you will have to adhere to this, otherwise the floodgates will open and suddenly every single student is dying of thirst. Adhere to your procedures and students will buy into them as well. Our final topic for today is student and teacher accountability. Students must learn that they are accountable for their actions and decisions. If they learn classroom expectations and procedures from day one, they must also understand that they are accountable for following the rules, and if they don't, they must know there are repercussions. For educators, there is accountability as well. We must consistently adhere to our own expectations and procedures if we expect our students to do the same. By remaining consistent, students will find that consistent equals fair. The importance of accountability. In a study by C. Kanabo Jackson, a large amount of data was collected relating to socio-emotional skills such as self-restraint and motivation. The data collected support the idea that outcomes seen as adults are more highly related to these non-cognitive skills than simply cognitive test scores. This is proof that instilling the importance of positive behavior and consistency in our efforts to abide by the established expectations, and procedures will lead to positive, lifelong outcomes for our student. Thank you for your time today. I hope these strategies can help you remain consistent and curb disruptive behavior in your classroom.